All right, let's, so here we are. We're CNET 40, and the projects I wanted to talk about were the last two, D5 and D6. So let me just, here you've got a Windows server, and it's running DNS. So you want to make it an authoritative server to serve up a domain. So you have to give your server a name of NS1, computer name, so it has, now it's going to be NS1, and then give it a suffix. So you make it ns1.yourname.local. This is what Microsoft does. This is not a real domain name on the internet, but you can configure a DNS server with this .local domain, and you can use it on your own network. But what Microsoft does for a lot of their training products. So now this machine is ns1.yourname.local instead of the automatically generated random name that Microsoft gives it. So once you've done that, now we're going to convert your server. When you install a DNS server, it starts as a recursive resolver, like your router, where it will ask other people, ask other servers to find domain names. And you want to make it a non-recursive authoritative server. So you put it in a domain, yourname.local, and after this, you won't be able to resolve things like google.com. You'll only be able to resolve yourname.local domains. So if you go into your Ethernet and put in a static IP address, and you define an external DNS server to use for this now, because to browse the web, you're not going to be able to use 127.0.0.1 anymore, because your server is not going to be a recursive server. Now, so you disable recursion, you go in DNS, go into your DNS properties, and you can just disable recursion. So now if your server gets a request for something like yahoo.com, it will say, I don't know, and I'm not going to find out either. The only thing it's going to answer is things in its own name. So you're going to take away the root hints, so it will not bother going to the root of DNS to find .net and .com or anything. All that is part of recursion. So you disable that. And then...
What happens if you don't disable the outside, DNS?
I don't know if you need... I think since you turn off recursion, it shouldn't matter anymore, but I'm not sure. It's a good question. I don't know why you have... This is the recommended Microsoft procedure. It seems redundant to me. It seems to me like turning off recursion should be all you need to do, but these are the other steps they recommend. It's a good question, and I don't know the answer. Then you create an authoritative zone for yourname.local. So again, there's just an option here to make a forward lookup zone, and you can create a zone for yourname.local, and in there, it creates a file, and that's it. So when you're done, you can then do an NS lookup of the only server, ns1.yourname.local at 127.0.0.1. That's the only thing this server can do. It only knows one IP address, but you can do it. And so you'll see it is able to resolve that IP address, and it is authoritative, because if it's not authoritative, Microsoft will tell you non-authoritative answer. And if you try to look up yahoo.com, it'll tell you, I can't find it, because it's not recursive. So that's all. That's the authoritative server on Windows. And let me stop this recording.